And hello! Welcome to the Wii Sports Resort, the newly monikered Hitsville UK special on sports by me. So, it's been a while. It's been a pretty big while since my last episode, which is depressing. But the good thing is, I'm going to talk for less time about more things. And as they say, quality is more. More is quantity. Quality over quantity. I just don't know what I'm talking about. One of the questions I received for this week's Wii Sports Resort report is, what do you see happening to Liverpool after Steven Gerrard leaves? I don't need any figures or facts or anything like that to talk really at length about Steven Gerrard and about Liverpool in that respect. Steven Gerrard owns the Champions League, essentially, the 2005 Champions League title. It's his. It's not Liverpool's, it's his. He carried them to that final. He's carried them to final upon final. He's probably, without Steven Gerrard, there's a few seasons where Liverpool might have been relegated. He's been that important of a player. It's like, he's one of the best English midfielders of all time. I hesitate to say the best because we all know that's Fat Frank. But I mean, the guy is brilliant. Certainly this year, I don't think he's been terrific. Hello, old Slippy Slippersons from remember last year.
Oh, when Gerrard slipped.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is.
Chelsea still didn't win the title. He's terrific, but the thing is, you look at the way Liverpool are playing now. Henderson is already playing the Gerrard role as a captain and as the sort of tempo setter, the pace setter of the side. But the difference being, Henderson's 10 years younger almost than Gerrard, and he's got just twice as much fitness, twice as much energy, twice as much desire as Gerrard has now, as much as Gerrard did when he first played for Liverpool and first just blew the Premier League away. I don't really see there being a massive issue with Liverpool losing Steven Gerrard. I think, every player has to leave. I personally can't bear the thought of losing John Terry from Chelsea. We're gonna have to start a whole new team. It's a sentimental issue for Liverpool fans, but I think in terms of style of play, particularly a lot of the names have been linked with Miralem Pjanic of Roma, who is a stunning footballer, absolutely sumptuous passing, absolutely one of my favourite footballers in Europe. They've been linked to the likes of him, Will Hughes, who has just a beautiful first touch and is so neat and tidy on the ball, it's unbelievable. So Liverpool fans need not worry, because there's lots of stuff in the pipeline, there's a lot of possibilities. One of the other questions was, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? Kind of to go off topic a little bit here, I remember a friend telling me that Quade Cooper, the rugby union player, I think he's a cross-code player, which means he plays for both styles of the sport, just like me in life. Quade Cooper is like physically the perfect athlete, in terms of his build, his pace, whatever. A friend told me this, so I don't really like rugby that much. But Quade Cooper is the perfect athlete for he's made for rugby, and I think in a lot of ways Ronaldo is made for football. I mean, his mentality alone, the fact that he's gone from Sporting Lisbon to the tippy top of the world football game, he's spectacular. I mean, you watch I'm just, my mind is boggling trying to figure out who's better between Messi or Ronaldo. You watch Ronaldo's goals, you look at Ronaldo's stats, this is another one that I don't really need to go into much depth about. You just look at the goals that Ronaldo's got this season. He scored something like 25 league goals in the first 15 games. Then we've got Lionel Messi, who, you stick him on a football pitch, you think, he's a wee man. What? Aye, we'll stick him in goals because he's not he's very good. And then you put the ball to Leo's feet and he's bouncing about. He's got little friggin' crow's feet and he's poking the ball past you in all different ways. His performance against Manchester City at the Nou Camp this year in the Champions League was incredible. I don't think he scored, but just the way he moved the ball around, he made a dick of Vincent Kompany. He's had a bad season, but it was just it's another player that is just, the cliche goes, he's a joy to watch. It really is fun. I mean, I don't really like watching Barcelona. I'm sick of watching really good teams win. I prefer to watch really bad teams win, which is why I support Chelsea. I think, personally, I've decided I'm not going to discuss it. I'm just going to say I prefer Messi because Ronaldo, a little less of a team player, and, he has a museum for himself. Yikes. Okay, next question. Do you think Southampton will have the legs to finish in a Champions League position? It's hard to answer this question because I received this a good while before the current sort of Premier League table, which will be displayed here. I'm gonna stay out of its way. Sorry, Premier League table. I think Southampton are a very good side. If you look at the first 5 games of the season, if you look at the Premier League table from the first 5 games of the season, you see that Southampton played the best. They played brilliant. But so did Swansea, Aston Villa. The difference is Ronald Koeman, who is a genius, has got Southampton playing football where they're afraid to lose, just like any top side should be. They're not underestimating or overestimating their opponents. They're showing every team the correct amount of respect and playing out of their guts every game. They've got such a high energy system. The only problem is because they press so high up, they're winning the ball like 40 yards from goal and their entire attack is compressed into that area, and teams just sit back and there's no runners behind the back four, there's no space to play, unlocking passes into the areas behind the full-backs and the centre halves. So unless, by some freak of fortune now, Southampton have a really good turn of form and, other teams have an arrest in form, I think it's reasonable to assume they'll finish in a European position. I don't think they'll finish maybe top 4, but there's no doubt that they're good enough to mount a challenge this season and next season because the football they're playing is glorious. And if you look at the players they brought in for, fairly cheap. Pablo Osvaldo was a record transfer and they didn't even buy him this season. Before that it was Gaston Ramirez. Those are players that aren't making the cut at Southampton. You've got Nathaniel Klein, who was bought for like $2.5 million from Crystal Palace. You have Bertrand, who's bought for I think $7 million from Chelsea. I think he's one of the best left backs in the league this season. New questions. Yeah, good on Southampton, and it sucks that they're not in the position that they were when I got asked this question, so that we could have had a bit more speculation about the whole thing in my poopers. One more question, guys, and then I'm going to retire to my beddy bye. No, it's only 7 o'clock. I don't sleep at 7 o'clock. I'm not fucking a child. Do you think Eden Hazard will win the Balon D'Or in the near future? Well, I certainly don't think that he'll win it in the far future, because he probably won't even be playing football in the far future. Football won't even exist. It'll be hoverball or some preposterous future sport. Enough jokes. Eden Hazard is awesome. He's a hard worker. He clearly wants to improve his game year by year. He's scoring headed goals. He himself will tell you that was a target of his for this year. I love him. He's one of my favourite players. I can't really say enough good things about him. He's electric on the ball. He's almost shoo-in for Player of the Year. Maybe Harry Kane, like a push, but he's going to win. Kane's going to win Young Player of the Year. Hazard will win Player of the Year for the Premier League. He's been sensational. I think as well, there have been times again this season where we've been bouncing off him, just getting results because of his football. It was the same last season. If you look at some of the goals he scored against lower level teams, the hat-trick against Newcastle, stuff like that is what is keeping Chelsea at the level that they're playing at, unfortunately, which kind of hurts to say because I want us to be the best team. And I think come next season, provided we're Premier League winners, Jose Mourinho is going to make some real solid solidification of the team, add a bit of squad depth to give Hazard a bit of a rest, because there's been times where he's drifted out of games because he's been tired. So yeah, I think next season will be Hazard's real test. If he can start really getting an end product, either goals or assists, and just, Diego Costa level of goals from the first half of the season, or a Fabregas level of assists from this first half of the season, there's no reason to think that Hazard won't be rubbing elbows with the best footballers in the world. And in fact, he probably is. So, as always, send your questions in either to @MatthewLS or the Hitsville UK Twitter account, and of course the Hitsville Twitter, Tumblr. And we'll try and answer all your questions next week, hopefully a bit quicker. Hopefully we'll get right on round to you. Bye!